working together is gonna be legend. Wait for it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Zero Life X1. 1X, now presented in 4K.
No, it's not in 4K.
It worked for Microsoft.
No, it didn't. It really didn't.
I'm one of your hosts, Sean Pitts, and beside me is Barrett Courtney.
If you open a beer in the middle of the forest without your boys, is it even a cold one?
Here's the thing. I don't know what that is.
You don't know that meme?
No, I was working this week.
That was like a meme during Kind of Funny Live weekend. Like opening a cold one with the boys.
I wasn't busy.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it.
No, not at all. That's totally, Roger was just on for shits and giggles and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, for the people who don't know, this is the show that I helped start.
Yeah.
And I haven't been here because life is busy.
Busy couple of weekends.
I was swamped with Kind of Funny Live stuff. And Roger was here, so it was a good opportunity to get him on camera.
Yeah,
and
that was a good episode. If you haven't, check it out.
Small show called E3 happened. Indie little show.
Yeah, just a little thing.
No one pays attention to it.
We're only going to talk about it the entire episode. So.
70,000 fucking people poured into the arena, poured into the hot gates.
One man leaves.
That was one man ran into a plexiglass wall. There's a lot of stuff happened at E3.
Yeah,
I was there for 7 days.
Okay,
like The Ring. 7 days.
Okay.
And then I died.
Oh, yeah. And then you came back to life. So you're Jesus?
I already knew that.
Okay.
But
what's this show about, Sean?
The show's about nerd culture and pop culture, and today it's about video games.
Yeah, and just to give you guys a heads up, we're posting this either on Sunday or Monday, not on our regular schedule. We usually post every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But since we've been busy just with E3 work, we didn't have an episode this last week, so I wanted to try to get an episode out as soon as possible. So there will be no show this coming Wednesday, but next week we'll go back to our regular scheduled program. There you go.
Until I leave for Comic-Con 2 weeks later. Fuck. And then Gamescom.
I have no more guests.
And then Gamescom. And then
hey, Alyssa, you want to do some Zero Life episodes?
And then BlizzCon. There's so much happening.
There is so much happening.
Travel season's rough.
But anyway, the reason why an episode didn't go out this last week was because we were working E3.
Yeah,
E3
you were doing the home base.
Yeah, I was working home based.
I was in the trenches.
Capturing the conferences and all of the sort of like different like one-off streams like Xbox Daily and
I've seen
Treehouse.
Stuff that's changed me.
Seen some shit we ain't never seen before.
It's like going, nah, man.
If someone I don't know if it's that.
If someone says one more thing, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
Let's talk E3, Sean.
All right.
I do want to, before we get into sort of, because this is going to be like our reactions, our thoughts on like all the E3 announcements and all this shit. Before we get into that, I want to shout out Clyclone.
Yeah, she's the best.
Fan of the show, super homie, who made a like in-depth video of our E3 predictions. I'm not going to talk about like who won and the points and stuff, but you should. I won because I'm the fucking best.
Because I made a lot of dumb predictions that clearly were not going to happen.
But if you want to watch that, Sly made an awesome video.
You should.
About that.
It'll be linked below.
It will be.
Write that down.
Yeah, I don't need to. I already in my head I knew I was going to do that.
It's all up here.
Yeah, it's all up here, man. So let's get right into it, Sean.
Now here's the thing. You have this way that you want to do it, and I'm just gonna let you drive, and you could just because you have no idea. We have actually not spoken about E3 other than
really like you slacked me at one point, and you're like, "Yo, Evil Within 2," and I was making like 6 videos at once. I was like, "I can't talk to you right now, Sean."
Yeah, I was busy making reaction videos to the conference. That's what I did. That, and then I did all of Instagram stories and all Instagram content.
Check out all the cool IGN content that everybody like helped out on this last week. It was really cool seeing like all these videos that everybody helped out with. So check that out.
I'm gonna let you drive and I'll react.
So we're gonna go conference by conference. I don't want to spend too much on the like sort of third party stuff unless there's something big to talk about. Example, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Shout out to Marty.
Yeah, and shout out to Marty who has to eat a mug. So I want to try to get quick through like EA and like Bethesda and like Devolver, and then we can like spend more time talking about like Xbox and Sony and Nintendo, so like the big three stuff.
Funniest thing about that, quick one off. Marty Sleva, our homie, our guy we work with.
He's the boy.
Executive editor at IGN or something like that. He's like, I actually don't know his official title.
He does.
Oh,
cool
he's
stuff.
like head of features.
Yes,
head of features.
He like helps out with him and Justin, like sort of like they're like a 2-man team.
They're both really good at their jobs. Yeah. He tweeted out famously now, if Beyond Good and Evil 2 is announced at the Bethesda conference,
not Bethesda at Ubisoft.
I'm sorry, Ubisoft conference, I will literally eat my mug. And the funniest part of that was not that Beyond Good and 2 is evil. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was announced. It was Anthony Carbone's tweet back to him before it happened was, you would die from that. It would still be worth it.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
No, he was like, I hope you like die from all the shrapnel or something.
But, so go ahead.
So we're going to go conference by conference, sort of talking about our thoughts about like what each company had to say and sort of like overall like, how is the presentation? How are the announcements? What are we excited about? What are we not excited about? And all that good stuff. So we're going to go conference by conference and then maybe talk about like our favorite games that we saw. I don't know if you had any time because you were super busy to play any games. So
do
literally,
you know how
like
hard it was for me? No, listen.
Yeah.
To have the opportunity because developers widely accommodating. Like so nice. Yeah. Everybody, because I was one of the guys handing out the best of show nominations.
Right.
And because of that, people were really happy to see me pretty much all the time. And like, I turned down a hands-on demo of Destiny 2, of Call of Duty, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown, every Ubisoft game, all of them. I had a free line skip to all of them. Pretty much everything I wanted to see at the show.
Yeah. You were busy. You're a busy
I had
boy.
I had to be like, oh God. And it was like, maybe I had like 10 minutes left. That's how much free time I had at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And then by then it was just like,
I just want to sleep.
Everything hurts.
Yeah. So we'll sort of have like the same basis of knowledge when we talk about like sort of our favorite games that were like announced or shown or whatever. Because neither of us played anything. So let's get right into it. EA. So I wrote down notes for every conference. So EA, they opened with Madden with that drum line, and that was like really weird.
I met those guys.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they were at the.
They were good. They were a good drum line.
They were really good at drumming.
Yeah, they are.
That's kind of
but it was like EA Play is like now its own separate thing from E3, even though they conveniently do this the weekend of E3. I don't know, like they separated, and you would have thought like because they were separating that they were gonna go against like the whole conference thing and like all this stuff, but like they're the ones that stick closest to the format,
the old
than
format.
Anybody else this year. You know,
lead off with one of their big titles.
Yeah, they opened with Madden. And then they
go to sales numbers. They do like stuff they did the stuff with the Porsche for sales and like.
God, oh my God, that was so.
It's
like,
funny. I was talking to Youssef about.
No, that wasn't. The Porsche was Xbox. That was Microsoft.
Oh really?
Yeah,
because I wrote a fucking blur.
Because I wrote down at one point during Microsoft, are we really selling a fucking car right now?
Yeah. I mean, clearly anybody who's watching this conference can afford a. Over $100,000 car.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, EA was very just like it was generic, and there was some cool stuff announced. Like there's for some reason a story mode for Madden and a story mode for FIFA. I think the way they presented the FIFA like story.
That's the sequel. They did that last year too.
Oh, interesting.
That's why it's like, oh, is he going to get traded this year?
Okay. Yeah, I did not understand that shit at all. But the story mode for Madden looks cool because your boy Marshall Ali from Moonlight is going to be in that story, so that'll be fun.
Yeah,
but it's also like it's a football game. Like,
as someone who doesn't play Madden, I consulted one of my friends, Youssef, who is a friend of the show and really likes football a lot. And he was like, it's different enough to where now I don't buy Madden every year, but I'll buy this Madden to play it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess it's getting the biannual kids or the triannual kids to be like, no, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I guarantee you Fred will buy it.
Yeah, I'll probably get it too because I buy Madden every couple of years and stuff. So I'll probably check it out for the story and stuff.
Yeah, I beat you when we played Madden.
Whatever. Didn't you beat me on like a Hail Mary or something too?
Yeah, I beat you on a Hail Mary in the last second.
And
then
bullshit.
I beat you by 1, and then we've never played again.
He's just the reigning champ ever since.
This is how it will go down in history.
So, yeah, they opened with Madden. That was fine, whatever. Then they talked about Battlefield 1 DLC. Yeah, that's whatever. The story DLC looks sort of cool. In the name of SAR or whatever?
Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it. It's going to be like Battlefield 1 is like they do the whole vignettes of like all these World War I stories and all this shit. This is going to be another vignette, probably like a 2-hour sort of story or whatever. I don't know how long the vignettes were each, but it looks cool, but like I'm not a Battlefield guy, so whatever. Then FIFA, and then they're really reining in on the esports shit for a little bit. Yeah, and then they talked about Need for Speed,
which looks cool.
And like,
that was the best game they showed.
I wrote down, oof, that intro though. It's because that was the game that they decided to bring on a YouTuber who didn't know how to read a teleprompter.
I forget his name.
Jesse. Name too, and that sucks.
Jesse's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
First of all, I watched Jesse's stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
One of just the nicest homies.
Yeah,
of all
yeah.
time.
I could tell that that was not his fault at all.
Clearly
but it was
not his fault.
Still shitty.
Yeah. And they were like, we wanted to make a meme making fun of that, and I was like, can we not? Because it was just like the guy just messed up.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like,
it was
he's
just like
I'm married. No one's more embarrassed than he is about
yeah,
that.
exactly. You could see it in his eyes where he's like, "What is
crap.
going on right now?"
Yeah,
it's like
From everything I've seen, though, super nice guy. He's in Paris right now with Casey Neistat making a video.
That's dope. So no, the coolest thing that EA had to show was A Way Out. And so A Way Out was like the game that where it's like only co-op, like couch co-op, or you can do it over the online, where you're two people who are breaking out of prison.
It's Prison Break the show.
Yeah, exactly. The game. And it looks really cool. Just like the whole like cinematic cutscenes are going on in like one player's like screen, and then like you're still like the other player's still like doing other shit and stuff. And that makes me interested of like, are they going to be able to present that and have it all still make sense and not have something be too distracting for one person or the other? And that's why I'm fascinated by that game. And I texted you. I was like, we should.
I hope
play
it's
this.
not a gimmick.
Yeah, like it looks like a really cool idea, but it's like, will they be able to pull it off, or is it going to come off as like this? We did it just to be different, and not for like a.
That being said, everybody that I know that played that went hands-on with that or that saw it, I don't actually recall if it was hands-on, loved it.
Oh, yeah?
Everybody.
That's
pretty
awesome.
much unanimously. I didn't hear any bad things about it.
So, yeah, it had a lot of cool style, just sort of like the very cinematic, sort of movie experience. Like, the presentation of it was really cool. It's early 2018, so I'm excited.
I still think
I don't know if that's
Xbox
exclusive. Or,
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think that's come to everything. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that. NBA Live 18. Why?
Yeah.
Just let 2K do their thing. It's like when MLB The Show comes out, and then like the fucking other base. One. No, not the 2K. The like NB or like MLB All Stars or whatever.
No, it was 2K for a long time until like at least 2010.
No, I know, but there's another game that comes out literally on the same day every year as the show, and it's some like bad baseball game.
Really?
And it's like, just
RBI
why?
baseball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, why? Just
shout out to the Bigs, by the way. The Bigs was a baseball game a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was like Slugfest, which is the real homie of all homies. Jim Evans on the cover 2004. What up? 2003, sorry.
So like my thing with NBA Live 18 was I was like, why though? Like, why do this? And then they brought on like the music that played during their trailer was Kendrick, and I was like, fuck, they got Kendrick.
The whole war room was like,
oh yeah, I got loyalty, and somebody.
I love that song. I was like, oh well, fine.
Game of the show.
Yeah, right.
And then they teased Anthem, which we can talk about a little bit.
I got
going
a lot
into
to talk about Anthem.
Microsoft, and then
prepare to be let down.
Battlefront 2. There's a moment, I forget why I wrote this, but there was a moment I wrote, please clap. I think at the beginning when they're talking about Battlefront 2, he said something and he thought he was going to get a bigger reaction. He was like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, okay. And this reminded me of it was George Bush's brother, where he was like, please clap.
Jeb Bush.
Yeah. Battlefront 2 looks really cool. We did not need a 30-minute demo of that shit during their conference.
No, absolutely not.
It was like
It was also like demoing the stuff that I did not want to see.
Yeah, like I wanted to see the story mode, you know. The story mode is what is making that game exciting for us
That's
again.
why I'm going to buy that game.
Yeah.
I told that
And
to
like,
Mitch Dyer. I was like, I'm only buying that game because I'm interested in the story mode.
Yeah, exactly. And like for me, like the multiplayer is still cool. Like I'm still gonna get it. Like I think it looks improved from the first one. Like I don't know exactly because I haven't touched it or anything. I don't know how it feels and whatnot. I'm still not ecstatic about how you can switch between first person and third person, because people who want to play only in first person don't have the advantage of the field of view when it comes to people playing third person. It's unbalanced, and that was obvious in the first one, and it doesn't seem like they're fixing that in this next one. So it's
I mean that happens in a lot of games though. Like Player Battlegrounds Unknown has that.
It's
most
a weird.
survival
It's like you
games
gotta do one or the other.
You can
can't
cheat
do
corners
both.
with it like really easily.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
so it's like you gotta commit to one.
My also thing is like still no ADS, which I get is like not the point of that game.
Yeah,
like, they don't want to make it feel like Call of Duty, but.
Yeah.
Maybe add ADS.
But then
there's a legitimate difference between third and first person.
Yeah.
Because you lose the advantage to go ADS in third person.
Yeah.
Which would be huge.
And one thing that I've heard at least is like the different classes like do feel important and stuff, like just from fan reactions and all that shit. So that's exciting. And then I think the other thing that's cool about Battlefront 2 is that there's no paid DLC. Like it's all like all the DLC is free, and they're coming in like seasons. And the first season is going to be the Last Jedi theme, so that's going to be really dope.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for Battlefront 2. I think EA overall was just like
fine.
It was fine. It wasn't bad like last year where they were doing 2 conferences at once, and they went over to the UK conference at one point. And they went back to
yeah.
dude. EA's last year was bad. It was so fucking bad.
That was really bad. Yikes.
So yeah, EA, fine, whatever. And then we get to Microsoft. Microsoft opening was dope. The fucking where it like started with like the Xbox One, and it was like the square screen, and then it like throughout the years it like showed like 720 and then like 1080, and then they did the whole like 4K and all this shit. Like it was like really cool like hype video hyping 4K. I still don't give a shit about true native 4K, but like it was cool. Let's talk about the Xbox One X. How you feel about that name? Bad. It's not great.
I mean, they're not. I knew they weren't going to call it the Scorpio.
But here's the thing. I think it wouldn't be bad if they didn't have a console called the Xbox One S. So many people are going to get that shit confused.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be. It's like the Xbox One XS.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought it was called.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Xbox One Extra Small.
Yeah. I was like, oh,
Granted,
guys.
I've held the console.
Oh, yeah?
It's tiny.
Yeah.
It is the size of a PlayStation 2.
And like that's the thing I do give it credit for. It's like, okay, it is impressive. You have all of this hardware in this tiny
feels like
thing.
an Apple product. I always bring up that example and people don't like that, but like
Apple products like feel good.
Go hold an iPhone 7 Plus, and tell me that doesn't feel great.
Yeah,
you know, there's a reason I don't put.
You could not like the UI or whatever.
I do not put a case on my phone for a reason because I'm like that feels like a great piece of technology in my hands.
Yeah,
and when I picked up the Xbox, I was like, interesting. Not gonna come with an Elite controller.
Yeah, you did. Sly brought that up in the predictions sort of recap of like you got half a point because of you guessed something right, but then she took off half a point because you guessed with the Elite controller.
And I spoke with Xbox about that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was weird.
Yeah, you sounded like a frog. Did Mario take over your body with the fucking frog?
I had a bubble in my throat.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, we were taking pictures of it. We took it. They were cool. They let us take comparison pictures next to a Switch, which was I did not think they were going to let us do. So that was cool of them.
Yeah.
But for them to not bundle in that at $500. This is the premium console.
And I think
because that would be enough to make me upgrade.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's like I feel like I talked about this on this show, maybe someone else's show. I think the Xbox One X will actually push sales for the PS4 Pro come fall, because I think people are going to look at the general audience. Think about fall. Think about like mom and dad getting their kids Christmas presents of like, What's the new hardware coming out? And they're going to look at the PS4 Pro and they're going to look at the Xbox One X. All they're going to see is, oh, they both do 4K. This one's cheaper. And everybody owns a PS4. I think everybody, like, I think the PS4 Pro sales are going to go up.
I think
I think PS4 Pro is going to do, like, better than it has. And I think Switch is going to do really well. And I think
Switch is going to clean clock.
Yeah, and then, like, Xbox One X is going to be, like, PS4 Pro last year, where they're not going to talk about it. Like, it'll probably do fine, but not fine enough where they're going to beat both numbers about.
Xbox One S is now $200.
Only for a week.
Oh.
So let's talk about this shit. This was another...
No, hold on, before we move on.
Okay.
PlayStation has no games coming out in the fall. Nothing. Like, literally. Last year, we made the joke that nothing was coming out because it had, like, one thing. There's not a single exclusive coming out. Except for Uncharted, which is DLC. Which
Uncharted
isn't actually
it's
DLC.
Not DLC.
But, like,
and
it's people
Ni
think
no
it's
Kuni,
DLC.
and
DLC.
Ni no Kuni isn't big enough to be, like, the big fall exclusive.
That's not
but
Persona.
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that that's why I don't think that. And I think I'm...
But what does Xbox have? What does Xbox have this fall? What's the big killer app this fall?
You're right. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Exactly.
Is Sea of Thieves this year?
Let me see if Thieves is 2018.
So they have nothing coming out either. They I know they have.
We'll walk through the conference because I wrote a bunch of notes.
Through the conference.
Yeah. So we talked more about the X. I think it's cool, like they've got 4K. Like I think it's a cool console. I think their messaging is as fucked, I think, as Sony's messaging was for the Pro last year. Mainly because it was like everybody thought that they were going to talk about the Xbox Scorpio sooner than they actually did because they saw how the PS4 Pro was announced and then they like held back on like how to market it. And I thought they were going to take that time to like smartly think about like how do we market this console. And I don't think they did it that much better than Sony, where it's like, all right, you're talking about this 4K thing streaming at 720 on Twitch. Like how are people supposed to understand this?
Seeing it's impressive.
Yeah, and like people were saying that, like
gorgeous.
when people were playing Assassin's Creed on the X and shit.
Oh, it's amazing.
And like,
I saw that.
Yeah, and so like that's cool, but it's still like the messaging to those people who are at home, the general audience, I don't think get it yet. And I think when it comes fall time, when the 4K TVs start becoming the household thing, people are going to look at Sony, people are going to look at Microsoft, and they're not going to understand the difference between
native
upscaled
and
4K and native, and they're going to be like, oh, that's 4K and it's cheaper? Hell yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Impressive technology.
So let's the Xbox One S down to $200 for a week. And that's like, what the fuck, guys? What? Like, I know it's not going to be that much more expensive. Like it's at $250, I think, like regularly.
Yeah.
But still, it was just like $200 for a week. Like it's weird. It was a weird idea. And another note I have before going into the rest of the conference is Xbox and Windows exclusive. That kept popping up this year. And
also, yeah, I was bringing this up where they were like being really weird. I hate
launch
Xbox.
Exclusive.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah. We'll get there. So Forza Motorsport is an Xbox thing. Like that is an Xbox exclusive. It'll be 4K, 60 frames per second. It's
car porn.
Even like on the stream when I was watching, it looked really pretty.
There's like people who like Top Gear will watch that show and beat off.
And then it's coming out October 3rd. Cool, whatever. I'm not into racing games. Metro Exodus. That game looks fucking dope. I've never played a Metro game though. But that trailer looks really, really cool.
That was like really weird to me because like I've played Metro games and they're fine.
Yeah.
They're like straight sevens in my opinion. They're good games.
Yeah.
That was like, why is this the first game we're seeing that isn't Forza?
Yeah.
Because like you're gonna see Forza and like
because I don't feel like Metro has ever really been that big like triple A thing.
It's not.
But still, like the trailer was cool. And like, but yeah, even for like us insider dudes who are really in it, like I feel like. Yeah, like you have your Gregs who talk about it every once in a while, but then like everybody else is just like, yeah, whatever.
I was like, well, when that came up, I was like, there's no Halo. There's no Halo, there's no Gears, they got nothing. Like these guys are, which was way more exciting for me because I'm like, oh, because then like we have 40 exclusive games that were coming. I'm like, oh, you guys are being really like.
Yeah, they start with a third party and they end with a third party. So besides Forza. So, and for Metro Exodus, like, that gameplay looks really, really fucking cool. It looks really beautiful. I'm excited for it. Not dated. And then they went to Assassin's Creed Origins.
Third-party game.
Another third-party game coming out October 27th. I thought it looked pretty cool. I'm excited.
I will play that game.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty excited for this one. I watched, like, the longer demo that Ubisoft streamed, like, the next day or whatever. And, yeah, I'm totally down for it. The map looks fucking huge. Like, they only showed a portion of it, but, like, it reminded me of the time when they only showed a portion of Zelda's map, like, a couple of years ago. I was like, oh shit, this game's gonna be big.
It looks really cool.
Yeah,
and I'm glad they took the year off and gave everybody kind of like a break.
Yeah, and like the fighting looks way more intense. The enemies have like levels and shit, which is like really cool. Like sort of the game like helping you navigate like where to go next and shit. Like not forcing you to be like go to this point, but like you sort of like figuring out yourself of like, okay, these enemies are at like level 20 and I'm at like level 18. Could I still like risk it and like try to do that, or like?
I hope there's multiplayer. I love the Assassin's
They tried
Creed
to do
multiplayer.
multiplayer with Unity and it didn't work.
What are you talking about? There was Assassin's Creed multiplayer. In
oh, you're
4
talking
of the
about the
games,
fucking. You're talking about the deathmatch shit. Yeah,
no,
the deathmatch was fine.
That is like one of the most fun.
It never ran well. That's my.
That
problem.
was the problem. Yeah, it had server. It was plagued by server issues. But like when that game was running well. It was fun.
Yeah.
Like, I played that with Fred all the time. It's possible to play with 2 people.
They did the co-op for Unity, and co-op for Unity wasn't great.
I mean, Assassin's Creed, that like, so you can't make a stealth game co-op. Because it's just like, you're just too powerful. Here's the thing about co-op games. They're really easy. All of them.
Yeah.
With the exception of Destiny, which is wildly hard but it's not because like...
Because it's designed to make it
to be way
hard
different. It's designed to be complicated.
Yep.
You can put the biggest bullet sponge in any game ever, and like if I have another friend, we're gonna be able to outsmart the computer most likely. They're very, very, unless you make it like the last boss in the vault boss in Borderlands, which is like unkillable.
Yeah.
But anyway, Cornex's the Invincible.
And then they announced, so Assassin's Creed looks dope. I liked when you shot the bow and arrow and you could sort of curve the arrow and shit. I was like, all right, I'm down. And then they announced PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which
biggest
is
thing they had, in my opinion.
Biggest thing that they had to announce. And funny enough, that was one of the console launch exclusive things. So it's like, what does that mean? So
I don't know what that means. I legitimately have no idea what that means.
So is that like, I don't think anybody does. I think it's like the weird, because they were very specific. They were very specific about Xbox exclusive, Xbox One X launch exclusive. And
console
it's like
launch exclusive.
Yeah, console launch.
I don't know what that means.
So is it like Rise of the Tomb Raider or...
That's what I thought. I was like, oh, good. We'll get this on PS4 in a year when they work the bugs out.
Yeah, they're just not talking about it
I'm going to play it on Xbox the day it comes out because I want to play that game so fucking bad.
But you hate PCs.
But I don't like playing on PC.
Yeah, understandable.
And when I saw that, I got really hyped. And then when I heard the language that they used to describe it, I was like, oh, fuck you. Stop doing that.
And it's because they want to make it seem like it's their thing.
And no one would answer me at the Xbox booth.
Yeah.
Because they had it there.
And that's
like,
since they didn't answer you, that tells me that yes, PlayerUnknown's will probably be available 6 months to a year later on PS4. So,
or like, the great question is, so I was talking to some fans at E3, and they summed up the Xbox conference in one way, and it was like I was a bunch of different people who I had this conversation with because I was like, hey, who had the best conference? And some people with Xbox shirts on, Xbox hats on, and Xbox bracelets on were like, I think Xbox did, and I was like. Sea of Thieves looks cool.
Yeah.
But there were everybody else was like, well, I own a PC, so why on earth would I ever need an Xbox?
Yeah, exactly. Because it was all like Xbox and PC and micro, Windows and shit.
There's no Xbox exclusive that is an actual Xbox exclusive anymore, I don't think.
Yep. It's weird. It's weird. Like, why are you guys doing hardware anymore? And then they talked about State of Decay 2. I don't really care. I never played the first one. I mean, like, I think the idea of, like, the co-op is really cool, but it's just, like, it's one of those types of games that I'm never going to get into. That's announced for spring. They didn't give a date. They just said spring 2018. That'll probably get pushed. I wrote Darwin Project, and that was another launch exclusive. I don't know what Darwin Project was.
I don't remember it either. So
yeah.
Clearly wasn't that.
Minecraft 4K.
Yep, move on.
What? Why? No, like, it made me mad. I was like, the game is still just fucking blocks. The 4K Legos, great. But it is cool that they announced that you can officially play across all, like with each other across all platforms. That was like a cool thing. That makes me excited for the future of being able to play cross platform. But
that'll never happen.
That'll never happen.
Sony and Xbox will
Sony
never,
is fucking.
They'll never let that happen.
Sony's dumb.
Which I'm
Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That looks like the game that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite wants to be, but it's just like not.
That's the prettiest game I've ever seen in my life. If that game was a woman, it would be way out of my league. And I don't say that very often.
Yeah, I wrote down here, it looks a lot like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, again, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite looks bad. That looks like a bad game.
No, it's not, though. I mean, so, like, I've consulted my fighting game friends, and they were like, no, it's lit. Like, it handles well, it feels good, it is cool. And like the characters are cool, and I mean, it sucks not having the X-Men in there, but like I've went to the
Have you seen those character models?
Yeah, I mean, visually maybe it's not the best game in the world. I mean, listen, you cannot compare anything to Dragon Ball Z, because I mean this, I shit you not, Dragon Ball Z is the prettiest game I've ever seen.
Okay,
because that is like the cartoon,
sort of in 3D anime, like 2.5D.
I was talking to one.
It was
of the
almost
guys.
like it's almost like South Park.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy at the booth, and I was like, I just can't. I was just standing there. Like, some of my free time that I had, instead of doing things like playing games, I was just standing there watching people play Dragon Ball, because it is so fucking pretty. And it was like, they only had 6 characters up. I think it was like Frieza, Goku, Vegeta, probably. I only saw Gohan, Majin Buu, and Cell.
Okay.
And I was like, I cannot get over how good this game looks.
Yeah, it looks really good.
That game, and I was like talking to Mitch about this, like that game's going into cabinet at work, and I'm diving the fuck in, both hands. If I am not good at that fighting game, I will never be good at a fighting game. That's it. This is the test. Can I get good at a fighting game? I'm about to find the fuck out.
We'll see.
I can't wait for that game.
And then they talked about a game called Black Desert. I didn't really write down any other notes. Except that it's another launch exclusive. The Last Night, that game looks really pretty. I watched the Kind of Funny Gamescast, and Andy talked about at one point, because he got to go behind closed doors to see that game. It sounds like they don't really have a clue what that game is yet. And also the creator of that game is very problematic, so maybe stay away from that game. That's all I'll say about it. Code Vein, that is basically like the anime Dark Souls.
Yeah,
that looks cool.
God, I really glossed the fuck over Xbox. Yeah, I must have not really been paying attention.
I had to watch conferences over twice when I started, because I didn't start working E3 until Sunday night. So like I had to work like while like during Bethesda and Devolver and Sony and all that shit, and then I would go home and watch them again and write all these notes.
Yeah, I really glossed over. I watched.
So Code Vein,
I was working. That's why I was editing something.
Yeah. So Code Vein looks cool. That's another like 2018. They didn't give a date. Sea of Thieves, 2018 doesn't have a date. So it's like what?
Sea of Thieves, from what I've heard, was like one of the most fun games at the show.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Looks cool. Yeah. But I also like. I have a lot of questions about that game.
Yeah, like what I wrote down here, it looks fun but complicated. Of like, how are we going to be able to like get a consistent group of people together? If you play with random people online to get like a clan together, how can you trust them to like help you like manage a boat and all this shit?
Luckily, I'm in the position in life, humble brag, where I have like 900 friends on PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
I don't think
that game will never come to PlayStation though.
You're right.
It's an Xbox exclusive,
and I don't use my Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that I can. You'll
play it for a weekend.
That's what I said. I was like, I think it looks like a fun weekend.
That'll be something where like.
You mean Andy?
Yeah, we'll be living together at that point, and like I'll like play like I don't know if it'll support 2 players on one console.
Oh, I got you an eye patch, by the way.
Yeah,
I got you a Sea of Thieves eye patch.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I wanted to get you the tattoo sleeve because I had the fake tattoo sleeve. But
I saw Eric post that. I thought it was cool of like when you go to other people, like other islands and shit, like other players who have gone there and have died, like their like corpses come out.
Can you fight other players?
I think so. Yeah, because part of it is like you can steal other players' shit and like kill other players and stuff. Yeah,
because I might like that game.
Yeah. And then they announced Super Lucky's Tale.
Oh yeah, that game like something.
I don't know who that's for, but it's for someone.
Yeah,
a game the game where I think it's coming out this year. I didn't write it down.
We got hyped because I thought it was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, like because they teased it a little bit, and you're like, oh shit.
Because I was so down.
And apparently it's a sequel. Apparently this is not the first game in the series. I was talking to Josh Mobley about it, and he was like, yeah, it's a sequel. The super implies that. And I was like, how does the super imply that? He was like, Super Mario Brothers is the sequel to Mario Brothers. And I was like, all right, shut up, Josh Mobley. Go back to your desk. But yeah, apparently it's a sequel.
Super Shovel Knight.
Oh, God.
What
but
a good name. Oh, God,
yeah, like,
please make more Shovel Knight games.
I don't know, like a 3D platformer right now, especially with Mario Odyssey. It's like, who is this for?
Yeah, A, you're going up against The Godfather.
Yeah.
And B, I mean, Yooka-Laylee didn't really do that well.
Yeah, I'm bummed about that. I'm still waiting for it for Switch. What the fuck? Cuphead. Finally have a date, September 27th. I'm really fucking hyped.
Yeah,
because they teased a little bit more of the platforming of that game, and
not on the show floor, by the way.
Not on the show floor? Interesting. They teased a little bit of the platforming in the trailer, and it looks way better than the like platforming trailers we got like months ago, where it seemed really basic. So I'm excited for it.
I'm convinced that game's never coming out.
Fuck no! Come on, they gave us a date. They can't go back. No, please, Sean, don't do this to me, Sean.
Maybe it was playable behind closed doors and I didn't know about it, but it was not. I wanted to go give it an award, and they were like, well, it's not here. And I was like, uh-oh.
Fuck.
The development team was there.
Why do this to me? This is literally like I started BZG 2 years ago, and we were talking about Cuphead in the first couple of episodes of BZG, and I'm still talking about this fucking game, and I want it so bad.
Do you even have an Xbox?
I don't, but here's the thing. We'll have PCs and Xbox at work, and I'll just like in my off time or whatever play a little bit of it at work. But I legit for years I was like, I'll buy an Xbox for this game because that's how much I fucking want this game, and that's how much I want this game to be good. And
everybody's
just
so on that.
Don't fuck me on this.
Cuphead horse.
Cuphead people, don't fuck me on this. All right, Ashen. Do you remember Ashen? I just wrote Ashen. That's another launch exclusive.
That won an award for us, so it looks good.
Crackdown 3. That game. It was
that
cool.
Game is not for you.
Terry Crews.
That
cool.
That game is clearly
Terry Crews is finally in a video game. I thought that was fun. He brought in a fun energy, and I was like, "Oh, this will be fun." And then they showed the gameplay. I was like, "This looks generic as fuck."
So here's the thing. I think the destructibility is what they're leaning on, and if you are going to be so the entire game is apparently destructible.
Yeah.
And if the whole game is going to be destructible, it can't look that good because it's like
because
even
there's so much back-end stuff that they're thinking
like
about.
Just think about the particle physics alone behind it.
Yeah.
Now that game's clearly not for you.
But like,
I'm going to play the fuck out of Crackdown with Fred.
With that, like, I just feel like the gameplay itself just looks like this whole, like, you're this superpowered dude and stuff, and, like, even in a world where, like, I don't like Infamous, like, I think, like, that's almost, like, factoring out the destructibility and just talking about the moment-to-moment gameplay, it looks so much like Infamous, but even me who doesn't like Infamous, I think Infamous looks better, gameplay-wise, and so it's just, it looks like a game that should have come out 10 years ago.
And it did, and it was good. And the second one came out, and that was also good. And the third one's going to come out, and it's going to be the same
fine.
Good.
It's going to be fine.
And you know what it'll be? It'll probably be like 40 hours that I spend with Fred just running around.
And that's their big fall exclusive. That's their big fall thing. It's November 7th. And that game is not going to sell. I'm calling it right now.
Maybe in the market. No, it won't. Here's the thing. So I got into an argument with somebody on Twitter about this. My boy Jamie, who I love. I think Jamie is a very smart guy, and I like him a lot.
Yeah.
He told me that Sea of Thieves will sell more copies than Skull and Bones. And I was like, you're out of your mind. You are out of your mind.
It's just the numbers don't make sense there. Because Sea of Thieves is an Xbox exclusive, and then Skull and Bones, from what I understand, will be available on every platform.
It will be available on every platform. And here's the other thing. Ubisoft games always sell well.
Yeah.
Name a Ubisoft game that flopped.
Yeah.
I can name 5 bad Ubisoft games. I can't name 5
There's
bad
probably a couple
selling.
that have flopped. I can't name them off the top of my head, but they're like, I would say the last Assassin's Creed game didn't sell well.
I probably didn't sell well by Ubi standards.
That's true.
I would be shocked.
Sea of Thieves is not like a proven quantity where Skull and Bones is literally a ripoff. It's a reskin of Black Flag, but not of like the ship combat in Black Flag is awesome, and they have that, and that's literally the only part of the game. From what I've seen, there's no like adventuring or anything. It's literally just going around on your boat, and fight another boat, and it doesn't seem that interesting. We'll talk about that when we get there.
I was gonna say, it's gonna be way more interesting than you think.
Life is Strange, Before the Storm. It's cool for all the three of you who's into that. August 31st, first episode. Shadow of War, October 10th.
Multi-platform.
Yeah, multi-platform. Shadow of War looks cool. I'm way more interested in this one now than I was. I didn't like the first one.
Gotta make that game harder.
Yeah, and but I also thought the aspect that I think is cool now is being able to recruit enemies now on sort of building up this whole idea of building up your own army and shit. That's cool. I'm into that. And from what I saw of the first one, I didn't really get that. And if it was in there, I didn't get to the point where they introduced it. But I don't know. This one looks a little more fun. The enemies, I feel have a little more life in them. The whole demo they showed of the guy your character jumping into that fighting pit, and then the ridiculous shit that big ogre dude was saying. It was fun.
Yeah.
I was I'll probably check this out again.
Here's my thing though. Still gotta make the game harder. I told you, I think I told this story on the podcast. I turned that game off when I killed 110 orcs in a row, and I was like,
"Yeah,
this game's easy."
Yep.
Gotta have challenge. Well, otherwise, why are we playing?
Ori and the Will of the Wisps was announced, and that was all about that.
That was cool.
It was announced, and that's all they talked about it.
That's a good game. Ori and the Blind Forest is a good game.
Original Xbox games coming to Xbox One.
Cool, I guess.
It's backwards compatible. All right, old games are old. Crimson Skies, whatever.
My biggest thing. So the thing is they're going to be upscaled and they're going to look better. They're being basically remade. My big takeaway from that is maybe I could play Conker's Bad for a day again.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly. That's
That's it. I'm trying to think of original Xbox games that I like. Brute Force I like a lot. I don't know if I'll be able to play that.
Yeah, and there's no point of going back to the Halo games because they're
already made it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Not really remaking your best generation of games, guys. Jade Empire would be cool to go back and play.
Yep.
And KOTOR and
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, Xbox was not a generation known for knocking the fucking lights out. Xbox One was Xbox original was a generation of wow, we made Halo. That's amazing. People always it's really hard for people to fathom how successful Halo was.
Yeah.
It literally launched a console and kept it afloat single-handedly.
Yeah, there's literally no other franchise that came out of that generation for Xbox that held it afloat. There are other games you had KOTOR and Conquer and shit, but it was those were the side things. The main thing was Halo.
And Conquer was a remake of an N64 game.
Yeah. Let's talk about Anthem. Before we talk about Anthem, this is the last thing they talked about for their conference. I thought it was really weird that they ended on a third party and they didn't have one last thing. But anyway, because you're probably going to go on a rant about Anthem. I thought this game was going to be way different. Everybody was like, this is going to be their answer to Destiny. And then the opening cinematic where you're first person, you're talking to the dude. I was like, oh, this looks way different. And then you go out and then it turns into third person and then it sort of does look like Destiny, but not Destiny. It was weird, and it looks like the seamless open world is very ambitious. We'll see if that's actually true. It looks very beautiful. The game definitely looks more about exploration and grinding.
Do you think they looked at Destiny and they were like, I don't want to be you. I don't want to be just like you. And what I'm saying is, this is the anthem. Throw all your hands up. Do you think that's what they said? And that's how they got the name.
Did Andy Cortez make that joke and he stole it?
I hope not, because I haven't. I know. I swear to God,
I think he made that joke.
I've been sitting here the whole time trying to remember the words because I keep singing "Girl at the Rock Show" in my head because that's for some reason my default punk song.
Your Rock Show is a dope song.
It's fine. Blink-182 is fine.
No date. They said fall 2018. That'll get pushed. That's not coming out next year. All right, give me your hot takes.
That game will never see the light of day. You will probably play a game called Anthem one day.
That game
that we saw will never come out.
Interesting.
It will be because this is.
You're thinking this is basically a Watch Dogs 1 situation?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, way worse though. Here's the thing: I can't fathom that game existing.
Yeah.
Maybe on one PC in the world. The Xbox One's not that powerful. Yeah. The Xbox One is 1S. No, 1X is not
my point.
More powerful than the most powerful PC in the world. And I feel like a game that is running a seamless multiplayer of an entire world that you can explore with your friends that can drop in and out at any time that looks like that would be like the Pentagon would have a hard time running it. So I just can't, because like everybody was like, oh my God, this looks amazing. And the only thing I can think about is like, this is fake.
Yeah.
Like, this just can't exist. If that game does come out and looks like that and works like that, no, I won't. I'm not dumb. I'll be completely blown away. And maybe in 2025 when that game does come out, awesome. But I just can't. If that game does see the light of day, it's not coming out anytime soon. And I can't look like that.
Yeah.
It can't be that cool. Because that demo looked great. But like maybe it's just the pessimist in me where I just looked at that and I said, I've been burned like this before. The Division looked like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first Division demo?
I do.
The first Division demo with the same like kind of dope. It was so cool where they're like closing doors and you run through the script of the first Division demo and the script of this game, really similar. Even to the point where they were like, hey, we should do that mission later with Sarah. Yeah, she needs the XP. The exact same fucking joke. They tell that joke in the fucking Division trailer.
Interesting.
Or something very close to it.
Yeah.
And like the Division was supposed to be like, oh, where you're playing with a game. Oh, but your friend's at school, but he has his iPad and he signs into a UAV drone that he flies around in the game.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. None of that shit existed. I played the Division a lot. That shit never happened. Or maybe I just never saw it, or like maybe my friends don't own iPads.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like, I just like and like she was like, oh, I'll find somebody. Think immediately. I was like, oh come on, how fucking stupid do you think I am?
Yeah,
that shit doesn't happen in Destiny.
Yeah,
like, and this is clearly a bite at Destiny. Like they're like, oh, we don't want to call it a shared world shooter. Yeah, but like that's what you kind of are implying.
Yep, and again, it's like it's BioWare, and BioWare is coming hot off of Mass Effect, and it's like
that was the other thing. I was like, you guys just made Mass Effect. You think you want me to believe
you guys just
this is your next thing?
But I do want to talk about because that story.
They're different teams.
That story just broke from. Fuck, I get it mixed up all the time. It was either Polygon or Kotaku. Whoever did it, like, awesome job reporting this, where they talked about the story of the Mass Effect process and how, like, most of the production of Mass Effect was in the last 18 months.
It makes sense. It looks like it. It looks like a place.
And so, like, I wouldn't blame that on BioWare. Probably I'd blame that more on EA, just because of the business side of it. But I see them going through the same thing where they're slowly going to develop this thing, and then EA eventually is going to be like, you need this out in a year. And then they're going to rush production, and then it's not going to come out nearly as great as that
this
demo looked.
Genre is so hard.
Yep.
This is basically MMO light. If they're really going for the shared world shooter dynamic. And this is the way I put it. In my eyes, there are 3 developers in the world that set themselves apart from everyone.
Yep.
And that's Naughty Dog, Blizzard, and Bungie. And like I get shit all the time for like praising Bungie, but like I've said it before, Halo is the most important console game probably ever that's not made by Nintendo.
Yep.
Like obviously Mario and those games and Zelda, they're staples.
They're literally the reason why we're here in our industry today.
Xbox, Halo invented multiplayer in a
console space,
and invented internet play in a way to where it was accessible. Like before that, it was like going to servers and like
LAN
doing and like this was just like, no, you go and you hit multiplayer and you hit online, and after you hook your cable up, we'll do everything else for you.
Yep.
You could just fucking play with people. So like, and then they came out with like the third Halo game, which was also fucking amazing.
Dude, Halo 3. I fucked with Halo 3.
Yeah,
dude.
And then they made Reach, and Reach was really good too. People shit on Reach, but Reach was awesome, in my opinion.
Reach wasn't the one I played ODST.
No, you played Reach.
People shit on Reach?
Yeah.
That's the best one.
I don't think that. I think Halo 3 is the best one, but
I'm talking about single player at this point.
I still think Halo 3 is the best one, but like Reach is great. Okay. And like Reach makes you care about these characters that are doomed.
Yeah.
That are doomed.
Yeah.
And their lives.
It's Rogue One.
Yeah, it is Rogue One. Even right up to the point where the planet gets glassed. It's the exact same story of Rogue One.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it is.
So like, and I think that Bungie barely survived Destiny. Like the people like forget, because Destiny is extremely successful.
They launched so
the
poorly.
launch of Destiny was such
bad.
a mess.
Yeah,
that I walked away from the game. And I came back because because at the end of the day, Bungie always does one thing better than everyone. No console game, with the exception of Overwatch, feels as good to play shooting-wise as a Bungie game. They nail shooting. They nail gunplay. They know how to make it fun. They are just good at it. It's like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the same thing, but like Call of Duty is like you get shot once and die. And they balance weapons, and they're just very good at gunplay. And BioWare has never shown me in their history that they can do that phenomenal at one mechanic to the point where it can hold a bad launch. So either this game has to come out perfectly, because this game gives me major Division vibes. Division is a pretty good game
that launched horribly. That
launched and was the best-selling new IP ever.
Yeah, but the reaction to it was horrible.
Yeah, we gave it a 6.8, and it fell off a cliff and died like almost no game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's like Titanfall levels of like no one gave a fuck. And like people, I get shit. People are like, I still play the Division, and I'm like, listen, I know. And it's not like people are like, yeah, but you could say the same thing about Destiny. 25 million people still play Destiny.
That's crazy.
Like that was the last time I looked at that stat was probably a year ago. I guarantee you 10 million people still play Destiny every day. And I was like 25 million people a year and a half ago were playing Destiny 8 hours a day. Or no, 8 hours a week or something. Like it was like some really large, like people were playing that game a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not the same situation where
Anthem, that game's fucked.
If that game does come out, real quick, I hope it launches like that. I hope everybody that gets that game loves it. I'm a jaded lover. Everything in my bones tells me that game doesn't exist. Like that game in that level, like in that way, we'll never play.
So that's the end of Xbox's conference. So let's mosey on to Bethesda. I liked the Bethesda conference a lot. A lot of people are shitting on the Bethesda conference. I like the whole theme park thing. I liked the Bethesda land.
I thought the theme park was awesome.
Yeah, I thought their whole presentation was a little it was almost like a step towards Nintendo's direction of almost like
high-produced
pre-recorded thing. But I like that though. They can control the message. They don't have weird fucking hitches and awkward presenting of shit.
No, you're right.
Which is I went to the entire thing of EA, and even a little. We'll get to it. We'll talk about when we get to it. Ubisoft in a way as well. What were you gonna say?
Sorry. I see. My problem with Bethesda is that I took a pee when it started, and when I came back, it was over.
It was not that short. It was not that fucking short. It was 38 minutes.
Yeah, I was just making a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't care.
Everybody was so fucking upset because I think very much this year was the year where we had the right expectations, but none of the companies were ready to meet those expectations. You know, I think you had one super big surprise this year, and that was Beyond Good and Evil 2, and everything else was
2. Metroid,
right. But Bethesda, everybody was saying oh, we got to hear about an Elder Scrolls and stuff, and it's with them, it's there's.
I thought we were gonna hear about it. I know,
yeah, it does, but that team is probably wrapping up on Fallout 4. You know, they were still doing Fallout 4 shit, and it's they're probably ramping up on production of this next Elder Scrolls, but we got to be realistic with our expectations. And yeah, we did have high hopes. And it's not Bethesda's thing to announce a game and then.
And that's what I do love about them.
Yeah, it's
I made the
they
joke
will talk about it when it's ready. Everybody expected that Elder Scroll. Their thing now is to only talk about a game when it's ready to come out in months. That's why everybody freaked out about Fallout 4 was because it was announced and it was coming out 3 months later.
Live by the sword,
and that
was
fucking crazy. It blew people's minds apart, and everybody wanted that same thing with Elder Scrolls, but you have to remember Fallout 4 came out 2 years ago. You think it takes 2 years to make a fucking Elder Scrolls game? Are you insane? Because you would have gotten an Elder Scrolls announcement and then that game would have come out 5 years later.
I think the thing that people were hoping for was a Fallout New Vegas style game from another developer that Bethesda was working with, like they did with Fallout.
The thing I was seeing a lot was Elder Scrolls.
Or an Elder Scrolls version of that, a Skyrim fucking,
we got Skyrim VR, which looks whatever.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. Skyrim is the herpes of video games. We got it once, and it just keeps coming back, and it never goes away. All right, we'll have it, and we'll have it for the fucking rest of our lives. I'm gonna be playing Skyrim on my next 5 consoles, probably.
Yeah, it's not that great of a game. It's great, but it's like we don't need it for every
It's fine.
single
It's
fucking
good.
console
It's
ever.
a solid, great game.
I like the Bethesda Land thing. I think they had a pretty tight conference. Like, I think they're stepping more towards how Nintendo does things, and I think, honestly, that's what everybody else needs to start doing. I liked the cute kid intro where they're like, my mommy does this, my dad does this.
I did like the intro.
That was really cute. And then they came out and they talked about Fallout VR, which I heard from people who went, like, they tried it and it looked and felt really cool.
Cool. I didn't play it.
Doom VFR, which I think stands
Virtual
for Virtual
Fucking Reality.
Which
awesome.
sits with the tone of Doom.
Great. That's awesome. I really wanted to play that. I didn't get a chance to.
I think the workaround for walking around is cool because it's like the teleport thing, but it almost looks like it's too slow for what Doom to its core is.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be very interesting to see how people react to that. They talked about Elder Scrolls Online and Morrowind. I don't give a fuck about that. Creation Club, which seems like this thing where people are making mods and you have to pay for them. That was really weird. They probably shouldn't have talked about that for this. It was very weird messaging, and no one really understood what the fuck it was at the end of it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think my thing with the Bethesda conference is, like, so I was making fun of it, but I appreciate Bethesda.
Yep.
I think they could have skipped E3 this year, but
yeah, they totally could have.
I appreciate them coming out and being like,
they're dedicated. They're like,
we got nothing for you guys that you're gonna like super care about, except for probably Wolfenstein, because Wolfenstein looks lit. We'll talk about that in a second. But like, yeah, it's that whole live by the sword, die by the sword. They came out and they did this, and they were heroes because they had Fallout to announce. But if they're gonna do this every year, you can't. You're right. You can't have a Fallout game come out every year. It's not fucking possible.
It's not like that team is. That's the people who make Fallout and Skyrim. It's one team. It's
but
not
you know
like
what it tells me though? It's definitely coming out next year. Because this is what's going to happen. I don't think they would have done the show this year if they didn't have a big one next year. You know, otherwise just
because it would have been weird to like go off for 1 year.
Yeah, it would have been weird to go away for one because like then it's like, oh, every time Bethesda has a conference, it's a fucking
it's a big thing.
It's a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls game. So I think that, mark my words, Clyclone, who's the best, first prediction, Elder Scrolls 6, right? Is that the one we're on? Is announced at next year's E3. At the Bethesda conference.
Write it down.
Also, I have to pee.
Oh, God. We are back from the pee break.
We're going to keep that in? I didn't know people. Okay.
No, we're not going to keep that in. I'm just going to say. We're back from the pee break. Yeah, and then they talked about Elder Scrolls Legends, which I think was a card game.
Yeah,
I don't know. And then Skyrim on Switch. Cool. Again.
There's Link armor.
That's cute. No date. All right. Dishonored Death of the Outsider. Oh boy, yes. Fuck yeah.
So
I am so fucking
Miranda
excited.
So when they said the name, Death
like,
of the
no!
Yeah, Miranda literally yelled out no. Like it was really.
So do you understand the context of the Outsider?
I have no idea.
So the Outsider is the guy who trains you in 1 and 2. So like in 1 you're Corvo, and the Outsider is the guy who like brings you into this like weird alternate nega dimension or whatever, and teaches you the powers of like Blink and all of this shit. He's the one who teaches you all that shit. And then in 2, I guess if you play as Corvo, I didn't play as Corvo, so I don't know how that storyline works out. But as Emily, he does the same thing with Emily. So it's like this game is going to be about basically as a different character.
It's DLC, right?
It's DLC, okay. But I don't know like how long of a DLC thing it is. But here's the thing. Here's my thing is it's getting its own like physical copy and shit.
Oh, cool.
So, like, I don't think it's going to be as big as, like, Uncharted Lost Legacy, but I don't think it's going to be as small as, like, Arkham City, where you played as the Robin DLC, where you took down
25 minutes long.
No, it was, like, a good, like, hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Arkham City, where you played as Robin, you had to take down Harley Quinn, who was mourning over the Joker. And so I think it's going to be, like, a good in-between. So I'm excited for that. That looks fucking dope. I wrote down September, like, actual months and shit, but then for this one I put 9/15/17. I think that's September. I don't know.
Yeah,
9 so September 15th. I'm so fucking... I'm hyped.
Cool, I'm happy for you.
Quake.
Whatever.
Evil Within 2.
Yeah, that was a big one for me. I really liked the first Evil Within. I have to go online and figure out what the story was because I don't know it. But I thought it was really cool.
I played the first hour and a half of Evil Within 1 when I was living with my friend Jack.
You don't like spooky games.
I don't like spooky games, and also the Evil Within 1...
Talk shit, I dare you.
Didn't control super well.
Oh, I controlled fine.
Didn't control super well, so
I honestly disagree with you. I mean, usually I'm like pretty open, unless my brain just blocked it out.
Yeah,
it felt like it controlled like Resident Evil 4, which controls fine.
Yeah, it feels like it controls like Resident Evil 4, a game that came out during the GameCube era. Like if Evil Within 1, the gameplay at least came out in the GameCube era, would have been fine, but this is modern standards and it just felt jarring. It might have been fine, but like for, I don't know, in modern times it felt jarring. And so
it's weird.
It was, yeah, I'm not super into like spooky games, not like because they're scary. I just don't find or a little bit with video games, like some video games I think I find very scary, like Resident Evil 7 we couldn't beat because it was so scary, and then like
you couldn't beat.
Did you ever finish that game?
No, but I'm capable of it.
Okay.
We should,
but even
when we move in together, that's the thing.
Even with Evil Within 1, like I didn't find it scary enough. I just didn't think it was interesting. Like I think it does look. I think 2 looks better than 1. I think that trailer was way too fucking long.
Oh yeah, the trailer was like 90 years long.
And I have the same note for Wolfenstein 2, where that was a 9-minute trailer, and it felt like 4 different trailers mashed into one trailer. Right. It was like you had your first trailer and then your next trailer and whatever. But Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Holy fucking shit, yeah.
I mean, people are way more excited about that game than I am, I guess. I don't know. It's fine.
It looks way more fun than the first one. I didn't like the first one.
I thought the first one was great.
Like not that I didn't like, it was fine. It didn't stand out for me. But this
I think
one
the things that made it stand out won't be in this game. So I think like the whole like not having a weapon in the beginning of the game was really cool, and like feeling helpless and like, no, this looks like I'm a jacked up superhero. Yep. And that doesn't really appeal.
I don't know. Like I like the style of it. It looks a little more like they're having fun. Like it's the whole like the sort of like mixture of like the fucking dark Germany taking over the world shit, but then also still with like the sort of 60s, 70s US vibe going on. I don't know. It looks like it's having a lot of fun, especially the guy at the end who's like tripping on acid. I don't know why he was doing that in the middle of a fight, but it looks fun.
All right, we gotta speed this up.
Ubisoft.
We're running out of show here.
We're fine. Ubisoft. Rabbids Mario.
Cool.
What do you think? Of it? Yeah,
I think it legitimately looks cool. I like tactics, or I like XCOM games. Yeah, like that tactical or like turn based. The weird thing is like they said something about like this being the first time that Mario was in an RPG. They like mentioned something like that, and I was like, "How dare you?"
Super Mario RPG or whatever.
Yeah, Super Mario RPG is a game.
Yeah, that's the title of the game. Like, what are you talking about?
And that game is arguably the best Mario game.
Until maybe Odyssey. Yeah, Rabbids Mario. Like
you and I have very different opinions on Odyssey, by the way.
Oh God, you are in a very very small group of people. Just letting you know.
I have a lot to say about the game.
Yeah, Rabbids Mario coming out August 29th.
Ubisoft had the 2 best moments of the conference, by the way. All right. Of the weekend.
Yeah, it looks like the gameplay looks really cool. I'm not into Rabbids, but I'll play it.
Yeah.
AC Origins, we already talked about that. The Crew 2.
I don't
that segment was way too long. Whatever.
An awkward moment with that.
South Park. Hell fucking yeah. I'm so excited.
I mean,
the
South
2
Park
standout jokes were like when Wendy's superhero name was Call Girl. And I laughed out loud. And then
Timmy
is like Professor X, where he's talking in like a total like he doesn't have a speech impediment or anything. He's talking totally normal. I lost my goddamn shit
when he just says he calls fucking douchebags in my mind. It's like one of the
but also like whole
fuck him.
And then like the whole commentary of like the whole like franchise is talking to each other, where it's just like your franchise is just a bunch of douchebags now and stuff. Oh god, I'm so excited for that game.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Transference, which was that Elijah Wood thing. Don't know what the fuck that is. That was a really weird moment. Skull and Bones. I'm not feeling it, guys.
I think
pirate guy, I'm not feeling.
I think it's gonna be cool.
I think like the gameplay is just gonna be the boat stuff from Black Flag, and that was the highlight.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know that, but that was the highlight of that game. But it's just like I don't know. It feels very bare bones right now. South Park Phone Destroyer. That looks fun.
Awesome.
That looks fun.
I've heard really good things about it.
Let's Dance. Stop bringing Let's Dance into your fucking conferences.
Oh, okay. They had the 3 best moments of the conference because it's out in October. Bye. It's like my favorite. It's like the best. That's the best thing that happened all E3. That beats the dude.
She did not give a fuck that she was there.
That's the sign off for the show forever. By the way, Zero Life episode 14 is over. Bye.
God damn it. She did not give a fuck. Starlink. That was that space game.
Oh yeah.
That it's gonna be. It looks like No Man's Sky and like. I put Horizon 2D. I don't know why I put that, but it's like you put amiibo like shit together to make your ship and stuff. It looked interesting. It's fall 2018. We'll probably get pushed. Steep DLC. Don't care. Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 gets the E3 award of having the best dog of E3.
Real quick, EA, fuck you guys for not announcing Skate 4.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Skate 4?
It's time.
It's time.
Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Far Cry 5. I'm really excited for that. A lot of people are like,
I'm so psyched.
The tone of the game doesn't match like what the tone of the story could be going for and stuff. I'm excited to kill some religious cultists. I'm excited to do that with a dog. So, fuck you.
That's my most anticipated 2018 game right now. Probably of games that I think will come out in 2018.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. They did it. They don't have a date. They didn't show gameplay, and they fucked up the whole sort of message of that game at the end when they let the developer talk way too long about like, we want you to develop this alongside us and shit. And it was
but it's not. It's not.
No,
I think there's a lot of weird messaging around there from like,
but that's the thing. It's like, I know it's not exactly that, but that messaging was so weird at the end, and it was just like, just get these guys off the fucking stage.
I saw
it was
stuff.
such a high,
yeah,
and then it like fucking stumbled on itself. I was like,
I saw stuff on influencers, so like no inside information here. I saw stuff on like influencers pages of them seeing something from Beyond Good and Evil.
Alana talked about it on the site, on the IGN site, or she tweeted about it as well. Yeah. Of like seeing gameplay and how like what she saw was like cool or whatever.
Okay, so I didn't know if I was allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's out
there, I read that.
That game is more than just a trailer right now.
Okay.
It is currently being
I
made.
did see when they were talking about develop alongside this, I did see at one point in the background where they on a computer there was sort of gameplay. So I was like, okay, so there is an engine. There is this isn't next year. This isn't probably even 2019. I'm probably 2020. I'm
best
safe.
moments of the conference for me was actually him coming out on stage and crying.
That was great.
Amazing. And then when Miyamoto
talked about that guy, and the guy in the audience was like,
imagine what that must be like.
God,
you are making a Mario game.
Yeah.
You are part of the exclusive club that gets to make a Mario game. Not only
you're not even part of Nintendo. That's fucking crazy.
Like, someone came to you and like basically the Pope of video games came out and was like, I think
shout out to that guy.
I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to play your game about the character that I made that single-handedly saved the video game industry. Like, I couldn't ever. It's like mind-blowing to me.
But yeah, like him coming out and him crying for Beyond Good and Evil 2, it's like fucking awesome. But then like he came on, and then like I guess the rest of the team came on. It was all just very weird after that. So Beyond Good and Evil 2, like I'm really digging the vibe of what that story is going to be. So yeah, I'm excited to play that game in a couple of years. Sony. One thing I want to talk about, because they did a pre-show where they announced like 50 different things. We got Undertale on PS4, boys. Let's fucking go. I'm ready to fucking play that game again, get trophies. I'm very interested to see how, when the game crashes, how they make that work on a console. All right, let's go into Sony's show.
Okay.
Let's do it. Did you have anything else to say about Beyond Good and Evil 2? I'm sorry.
No.
No,
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I have something to say about Mario. So.
Oh, Mario Rabbids or
no, Mario.
Just, okay.
I'm waiting to do it, but yeah.
I'm really sorry for the audio technician at the beginning of Sony's, specifically Twitch stream, specifically because YouTube was fine.
No, it wasn't.
YouTube
we were watching
was fine.
YouTube. It wasn't working for me.
YouTube was fine the entire time.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, YouTube was because I watched the YouTube VOD, like the actual they streamed it and then that stream turned into a video. I watched from the beginning to the end, and YouTube was fine. It was Twitch. Twitch for some reason, I don't even understand how Twitch was fine, but YouTube or Twitch wasn't fine, but YouTube wasn't, because you think it would all be a setup, you know?
It was like someone got fired.
Oh god, yeah, that was so embarrassing.
You
dude.
missed. I don't know what happened in the Uncharted trailer, and I never went back and watched it. And I don't know anything about the Horizon thing.
Yeah.
So I tweeted out like, this is a disaster, and I was like, for a second, I was like, what if the whole show's like this? This is like a disaster, like something we've never seen before.
Yeah, it was bad.
They fixed it.
But. Yeah. So the opening with the hype of live music, it was cool that they still wanted to do live music, but they didn't want to do an orchestra again, so they had that band come on. It was really fun.
Rock Band looks lit.
And they had the waterfall going on. It was so dope. It was so hype, and then it wasn't hype because the audio got fucked up. Uncharted Lost Legacy, this is basically its own fucking game. Let's just say it now. Horizon Zero Dawn, Frozen Wilds DLC, 2017. I wasn't hyped on Horizon Zero Dawn, the actual game, so whatever. Days Gone. Days Gone looks cool.
Days Gone looks really cool, man.
Days Gone looks cool. We don't have a date.
It looks way different.
Yeah, you did get a point on that. Sly did a
cool.
Twitter poll of did this look different enough? And people said yes.
I just don't. So here's the word on the street. Nothing insider. People think that game's coming out this year. People think this is the October game.
No, they would have said that at the conference.
So here's the thing. And this is strictly from talking to people on the show floor. Nobody in the industry. I want to frame this
fans who came in.
And the speculation going around that people have I heard from a friend of a friend, blah blah blah, all that bullshit. They weren't super confident that they'd be able to finish the game. But there's a window that people are saying that there's a shot it might come out. I think this is a 2018 fall game. I don't think it looks anywhere near done.
Yeah, we'll see.
It was playable behind closed doors.
Yeah. I think it looks way better from what they showed last year.
Yeah,
Zombie
cool.
Bear looks dope. We talked about Monster Hunter World, whatever.
Another one. Monster Hunter World's demo completely blew away the people that played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big surprise. I mean, blew the people
away. It was
away.
big, when it finally was because I remember at the beginning when people were like, what the fuck
is this? Yeah.
And then it was a Monster Hunter game, people were that's fucking crazy, and it's apparently coming out in early 2018. It looks cool. I never played a Monster Hunter game before though. So
I probably will play this game though.
That's cool. Shadow of the Colossus remake, that'll come out in 10 years.
That game's almost done apparently.
Really?
They didn't say that's.
It is Blue. It is Blue Point. They didn't put a date on during the conference. They didn't put a year or anything.
I thought that had 2018.
Maybe I'm fucking that up. You can correct us in the comments.
I don't know,
but I'm pretty sure they did not show a release window for Shadow of the Colossus remake.
We're gonna take.
And I am right in saying it's a remake because it does. It is look a
remake. It's not.
It's whole looks like ground up.
Yeah.
I do trust Blue Point. Blue Point did all the Uncharted games for the Uncharted collection. I do trust that team because it's not Japan Studios who hyped up a game for 10 years and then totally shit their pants when it came out.
My favorite here, real quick, because you weren't here for this. This is one of those inside IGN stories. That was when Beyond Good and Evil came out, and Naomi just started crying, and Alana was also crying.
Yeah.
And it was
was it everybody for Shadow of the Colossus? Or
no, but I didn't know it. I've never played Shadow of the Colossus. I will play the remake.
I'm down. I played Shadow for a little bit, and it was I played it way too late. It was the gameplay.
The controls are terrible.
Yeah, it's just all right.
But there was the wave of people who figured, because everybody figured out at different times until they show the guy.
Yeah.
But until that, it was the first scene, and everybody it was Studio Japan. Everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then when it showed the bridge, 5 people started screaming.
Yeah.
And then it got to the guy running across the bridge, and 5 more people started screaming. And then it got to the Colossus, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
And the whole fucking room was whistling and fucking. Zach Ryan was the first person that got it. And the first person that I saw, they showed that bridge, and Zach Ryan was like, "Shut the fuck up." It was
That's fucking great.
It was awesome.
I did a trailer comparison of Shadow of Colossus 2017 versus 2005, and I thought it was a really fun video, so you should check that out.
I did one of those too.
Yeah, but mine was more in depth than
yours was definitely more in depth. Mine definitely did more views.
And then Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. Nah. or not Ultimate, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, whatever. COD World War II. Campaign looks cool. It's a cool trailer.
Can't wait to play that. Also, it's really gory.
Yeah,
like people got.
Andy was talking about on Gamescast about like what he saw. I think where like at one point someone in front of you, basically from like the nipple up, just gone. Yeah, and you saw like ribs and shit inside. That's awesome.
Them. Not because I like a gore, because it's painting war in a horrifying light.
Yeah, and that's like cool. And that's what they said like before they really showed this game off. Was like
it's
this
got
is a
boots
horror
on the ground.
Shut up. Skyrim VR, whatever.
Who cares?
Star Child. That was a thing where like they showed the trailer. I was like, "What is this?"
Super hot coming to PSVR. They didn't announce that at the show. That's awesome. If you have PSVR,
that was part of the pre-show announcements. That was one of the fucking 15 things I had to clip out in half an hour. Final Fantasy 15 fishing VR. That's fucking hilarious.
What?
You're doing basically a game based off the worst aspect of your game.
People were saying that's the best aspect of that game.
Impatient. It's the supermassive VR game that's basically the Until Dawn prequel set like 50 years before the event.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so. Someone said that on Twitter, and I believe them, but maybe that's not right. But it has that like creepy vibe of Impatient. VR exclusive, I think, so I'll never play it. Moss, another VR game, looks adorable. And then they showed God of War.
I literally stopped watching when they started doing VR. That's so funny. I was like, I don't remember any of these.
Yeah.
God of War looks awesome. I spoke to some of the development team over at God of War.
Early 2018, so we'll see if they keep to that. I'm a little nervous about that.
They were like talking to them, and they were like, the game will be brutal, but not over the top.
Okay.
Like it won't be it might be over the top, but it won't get to the point where it's cartoonishly funny.
Okay.
That like you're laughing at him. Like this people will not be laughing in this game.
Yeah, I really like the vibe, like the story that they're going for, like Kratos' struggle as a dad. It looks action packed. Like the combat, even though it's different from the first three, still looks
like God of War.
Feel like that, and also looks still fast paced, because the demo they showed last year didn't look like that at all.
No, it looked like Dark Souls almost.
Yeah.
Which I was down for, kind of.
Yeah, the combat looks heavy and fast. That was what I wrote. And then they showed Destiny 2. How do you feel about the exclusive strike, gear, ship, PvP, and exotic stuff coming to the PlayStation early?
Here's the thing. You're making fun of that.
No, I'm actually like, how do you feel about that?
I play on PlayStation, so I think it's awesome.
Okay.
Everybody, a lot of people are unanimously hates it.
Very upset.
Because I like having things. That
I couldn't care less about Destiny 2, so I literally wrote everything down because I feel like you might have had something to say about it, but whatever.
No, yeah, I was just saying I like it because I like being like extra.
Detroit, can't wait to play that game in 3 years.
I think that Detroit will come out soon.
I'm very excited for that game. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's playable.
There's so many choices and shit. Like, it looks very cool.
I'm excited for that.
And then they ended with fucking Spider-Man. Let's talk about Spider-Man. 2018.
My game of show, by the way.
2018. Cool.
Can't believe that game's not 2017.
Yeah, I'm really bummed out that that's not this year. Apparently it's sort of like the wrapping up stuff, and like from what I've seen and stuff, and like listening to other podcasts and stuff, where like the UI, which a lot of people weren't a fan of, they like just made that just to have UI ready for the show, basically. So that's not what UI is going to look like. That's not like, there's still a lot of shit that they got to like fix up.
Not playable, by the way.
Yeah, they showed like
the same demo,
like with a little more
very slight differences.
Yeah.
Is open world?
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Okay.
From what I've heard,
okay.
And I think that's like common knowledge.
Okay.
Because that was the first question I had for like people that,
because it looked very like that demo
looked like
scripted.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
But they were like, when you're in a
so
mission,
cool.
when you're in a mission, it is like that.
Yeah.
But like I could be wrong, but from the people that went in to the demo, the fans that went into the demo and it specifically asked, they said the game is open world.
I think it's like, this looks like Spider-Man with Batman Arkham gameplay, and I'm so fucking down with this. The stealth and like taking everybody down silently, and then like going into the action. It's like, it's Batman Arkham, but not
with somebody with superpowers.
But like, but it's like the speed of Arkham Knight. It's not like Arkham Asylum, which Mad Max shot for, was like sort of the slower paced stuff. It looks like Arkham Knight, where it's like very fast paced and you're jumping around and all this shit. I think it's cool that they had like super deep cuts of villains where the villain that they were basically teasing, like that guy is doing all the negative shit, is Mr. Negative, which I think is cool. Interested to see if he's going to be the main villain or what's going to.
That would be a weird main villain.
And I thought that was weird that I think that was weird that like that was the villain they decided to show off. I honestly think they might go for a Green Goblin. There was a Norman Osborn tease in the demo at one point,
and there's a Norman Osborn tease at the booth.
Okay. I think it was cool. Like in the gameplay itself, they make a point of you saving people because that's what Spider-Man does. So I thought that was very cool.
There's a mechanic also built into the game that doesn't let you kill people accidentally in Spider-Man. Like,
that's really cool. I like that.
So like if Spider-Man kicks somebody off a skyscraper, he'll shoot behind him and catch them with a web so they don't die.
That's fucking. I like that. That's
drop
really
it
cool.
And it'll like stick to the ceiling. Yeah, because like the first question somebody asked was like, "You just kicked that guy off the building. He's dead." And they were like, "Well," and I like turned the camera and it's like, "No, he's
hanging
not.
off the building or whatever." Yeah, I'm totally. Spider-Man looks fucking rad. It looks like Arkham and it looks like Uncharted, but it's a Spider-Man game. It's gonna be open world, and I'm fucking hyped.
So Spider-Man. Hey, what's up, Peter?
You got those cranes?
We
got those cranes ready for you.
In this life that I love as much as Spider-Man. You know this.
Yeah.
I adore that character. I adore Peter. I love Miles. I think they're...
Dude, the Miles Morales.
Oh, right?
Tease,
right?
like, shit. Like, I got up from my desk and I was like,
But he's not Spider-Man in the game.
He's not.
You're playing Peter Parker, but he exists in the universe.
In future games, though. Or DLC, though.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's really cool. My whole thing with it... I've got nothing negative to say, by the way.
Yeah.
But I just want like taking you through the demo.
The UI does look ugly, though. So
the combat I was like whatever about because that's like never what I play Spider-Man games for.
Yeah.
It was like the traversal, and this is the moment that had me when he hits into the building, and he runs on the side of the building.
Oh my god! Yes.
I was like,
did you cry a little bit?
And then. Like, he's, like, chasing the thing, and all the webs are hitting buildings, and it makes sense. It's not, he's not shooting webs up in the air.
Yeah.
And, like, it just felt so good. It reminded me of the first time seeing Tom Holland in a suit. And, like, having Tom Holland fight the way Spider-Man would be.
It made sense. And it felt natural.
And then, this is the moment where I was, like, where I really was like, oh. When he hits the thing... And then they go through the...
He went through the fucking billboard that was crashing around him.
And he, like, turns in like that and, like, shoots through the center of it. And then I was like, oh, you got me. Like, I was sold when he, like... And they, like, flash the spider sense and, like... And it's, like, he's, like, playfully knocking people out. And, like, But that moment where it's, like... Oh, that's Spider... Because to me, like... Yeah, that's Spidey. And then he catches the thing and the whole thing, like, it falls... And then he, like... dives through the helicopter, kicks the guy out, and then saves him. It's just like, and then him stopping the helicopter. By the way, the booth at E3 this year was the shot of him saving the helicopter. And how it goes into first person, and he's like, it's just. And I got to talk to his team, and they were amazing. That was the first award I gave out. Like I went out to give him that nomination because I was like, I want to be the guys that give it to Spider-Man. But like, it was amazing. Like.
The one thing I've heard only from a couple of people, like very very small groups of people, where they're like, "This looks so scripted," and it's like,
yeah, I heard a lot of QuickTime events. Like people don't like QuickTime events. Whatever,
it's like whatever, man.
But then again, I am biased. Just like when Spider-Man: Homecoming comes out, probably anything that movie puts together, as long as it's cohesive whatsoever, I will probably love it.
Yeah.
And like I pretty much loved every Spider-Man game I've ever played.
I don't know. I don't get people's problem with QTEs, especially in like action-packed shit like that. Like Uncharted, it's fine, but when you do it for Spider-Man, it's suddenly not. Like I don't know. It's a very weird critique. So like it is. People are like, oh, it looks scripted. It's like literally every climbing sequence in Uncharted is scripted. Sorry, I have Uncharted on my mind because I was playing 4 for the first time on my 4K with the Pro, and it looks so fucking good.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean that game looks so great in 1080.
Yeah. But, so it's just like, who cares? You know, like that's like. So is it like you're still doing all this other crazy shit of like the combat and the stealth and
I don't
like
even
it's
care.
gonna be
I don't
open.
care about any of it. If it's open world, if my sources are correct, and it is an open world game. My sources are fans, by the way, not media.
Yeah.
I don't care. Because I'll do what I did when I played Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And I'll just swing around New York when I need to. I'll be like, I had a bad day. I'm going to go pretend I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm going to go put my Spider-Man t-shirt on. I'm going to turn off all the lights. I'm going to play it on my TV, not my monitor. I'm just going to pretend I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because that's like a seriously. I had Spider-Man 2 on my PS2 until I was 20 years old.
Damn.
Because I was like, that game chilled me out like nothing I've ever had.
Huh. I'm really interested in all the other shit. You know, I do love the traversal from like the older games.
When he ran on a wall, dude, I was like, oh,
you cried.
Oh. All right, let's wrap up
Nintendo. They opened up with ARMS.
Who cares?
I think ARMS is out.
Yeah, it is. It's out today.
Rocket League, though. Yeah, Rocket League on the fucking Switch.
Speaking of herpes.
Let's go, boys. Cue off in the comments and on Twitter and shit. Who's going to be picking up Rocket League this holiday so we can fucking group up and kick some ass online. Splatoon 2.
Yeah, just make sure you call them on your phone when you're going to play with them.
Shut up. Splatoon 2 looks pretty fun.
Yeah,
I'll probably play a little bit of that. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks cool. Not my thing.
I don't care.
Holiday 2017, so it's cool. Kirby and Yoshi look fucking dope.
They look great.
They look fucking awesome.
Great.
Yoshi was apparently made in Unreal Engine 4. Was
awesome.
like, that's fucking really cool. So
those games look beautiful.
I will get both of those games.
I will.
They're both 2018. No specific dates. Whatever. They talked about Pokken, which will apparently come out this year. Whatever.
But then they get to the interesting stuff. Dude, a real open world.
No.
Oh, no. A real core Pokemon.
He said a core Pokemon game coming out, being developed by Game Freak for the Switch. He said nothing more than that. And that was like the most like casual way to announce one of the biggest things of your show. That was like, oh yeah, like I'm going to talk to you mainly about Pokken for like a couple of minutes. Oh yeah, and it's like the beginning of Toy Story where Woody finds out that the birthday party moved to today, and like Woody's like, oh, and Andy's birthday party moved to today, and everybody freaks out.
It was basically, it was like they had a guy looked like Bob Ross just chilling at his desk, and he stole
like, hey,
my
guys.
bit. He was like, "Oh hey, I didn't see you there. About to change your fucking life."
Yeah. I'm hyped for that game. They probably started development on the game a month ago.
Yesterday.
So that was literally,
That's a
they announced it
game.
just so people can stop asking about it, but I'm whatever. Even if it comes out in 2 or 3 years, I'm so happy that a core Pokemon game is coming out. Technically, yes, on a handheld,
I can't
but
wait
on
for
a
it to be
console.
Pokemon Snap 2.
That's not a core Pokemon game, though.
It is to this core.
Okay.
Shout out to Joey Noel.
And then
they hit you with Metroid Prime 4.
they hit you with Metroid Prime 4.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's another one where they announced it just so everybody would stop asking.
Yeah, but like
that's crazy.
This is, I mean, unless they stopped it, ended the show with like, oh, and we're gonna reboot Earthbound.
Yeah,
from the
there's
ground
no
up.
other like big thing.
Yeah, like they did. Like this is exactly what I said Nintendo needed to do.
Yeah,
I think Nintendo had the second best E3 showing.
Yeah,
I think
like
they had
the two biggest things that came out of E3, and this is the way I was able to track it. When friends who I know aren't as into this as we are, like casual Facebook friends, the two regular things I saw posted on Facebook was the Spider-Man gameplay demo and the Metroid Prime 4 announcement.
Yeah,
and so like that was Metroid Prime 4 being announced was fucking huge.
I think Ubi had the best conference. Because
we'll talk about that just for a quick minute.
Okay, yeah.
And so, yeah, Metroid Prime 4, that's another game where like I'll be excited to play that in 3 or 4 years. Yeah. So, but it's cool. They announced it. They confirmed it. You know, Zelda DLC, which comes out on June 30th, the first pack. I'm really excited for. There's a new like trial of the sword sort of thing. They're adding Master Mode, which is like a super hard mode. And that's out June 30th. And then they teased a little bit of their story DLC. Literally just like, they basically said like, hey, it's a thing. It's called The Champion's Ballad. They said Holiday 2017. They literally have said nothing else, which makes me even more excited.
Master Mode sounds cool too.
Yeah. Like they start like usually like the red bokoblins are like your normal dudes. And that's all you see in like the opening area. Master Mode, they start out with like blue bokoblins with armor and shit. So
man, I wonder if you're gonna be able to play that off the bat.
Yeah. So and they talked about in the treehouse at one point where your master mode save won't overwrite your regular save, so you can go back and forth.
Cool. Because I when I do inevitably get a Switch, because it will happen one day.
Yeah.
I'd like to go straight into master mode.
Yeah. Mario Rabbids they talked about for a minute. Looks really fun.
Looks cool.
Super Mario Odyssey, boys. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Oh my god. This is my game of the show. Super Mario Odyssey looks fucking amazing. This is like the 3D platformer that like it reminded me so much of Donkey Kong 64. And I know everybody else, it reminded them so much of Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. But I didn't like Sunshine, so I didn't play through the entire thing. And like Mario 64, like I did play a lot, but I was not into it as much as I was DK64. And Super Mario Odyssey literally looks like DK64, but without playing 5 different characters. Of like, it's this cool collectathon, but like with an added level of like how like with this new mechanic of like the cap and like traversing and shit. Like, how can I fuck with shit, and how can I like mess around with it, and like what NPCs can I take over to like do this cool thing and stuff. Like, it's like, this is definitely an overstatement, but sort of not at the same time. It's like the Breath of the Wild for platformers. But I say that with the platformers have never really innovated since they turned 3D. And I think this is the first time we're going to feel that sort of innovation for that genre in a very, very long time. And I'm very fucking excited. It looks beautiful. The exploration that they're trying to push throughout these kingdoms looks fun. And it's like, this is a game that I saw and I just watched because I had to watch the tree houses every single day for
clip
work.
outs.
Yeah, for clip outs. And every single day I watched it and I was like, I know I love Zelda, but looking at this, I'm like, this has a good chance of being my game of the year as well. So those are my thoughts on Super Mario Odyssey.
I listen to my live. My mic's still on. Just wanted to make sure because I just hit it. All right. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
My big problem with it. Here's what I applaud Nintendo for everything they did with Zelda.
Yeah.
Because they made Zelda feel like a grown-up game.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're taking a big step back with Super Mario Odyssey in this.
But
when you die, you lose 10 coins and there's absolute you respawn in the exact same spot you just were.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no level of difficulty.
Mm.
I thought Kirby's Epic Yarn was awesome.
Yeah.
When I realized that you couldn't die, I stopped playing the game forever. When I realized that it is impossible to die in Super Mario Odyssey, I don't care anymore. Because it's not a game. It's a hand-holding, like, go get all these coins. Try whatever you want. There's literally no fucking consequences. Yeah. And, like, that's not why I play video games.
Yeah, I understand that, and like for your type of player, like I forget what they call it in extra credits.
I'm a dominator or something like that.
Yeah.
Shorter.
Like that, the game is definitely not geared towards you because that's literally every 3D platformer. You know?
No, it isn't. I mean, when you like died in Super Mario 64, you got kicked out of the level if you had no lives left.
That's true.
And like that minor gameplay mechanic is enough to be like. You know how many times I've had to restart a Mario game? Like none.
Yeah.
Probably ever in my life. Yeah. Maybe when I was really little and I was bad. Once I figured out you could get 99 lives in Super Mario World in the first level, yeah, that's all I did. I never had to restart a Mario game in my life. But I always liked the idea that if I fucked up really bad, I would have to restart the level over. That's like video game 101. This is like Prince of Persia bullshit where every time when you die, we're just going to hold your hand and bring you back up.
Yeah.
And like I was honestly genuinely devastated when they were like on the stream they were like, oh, you just lose 10 coins when you die, look, Mario comes right back. And I was like, come on, like add a hard mode then. Like it doesn't even have to be hard. Like give me a reason to ever care. There's never any high stakes. There's never like, and yeah, I guess that's not what the game is about, but like even old Mario games had that.
Yeah.
And like Mario, like people forget Super Mario Bros 2 is fucking hard. Like, that game's ridiculous. It's so hard they didn't even release it in America until the All-Stars collection. I'm like, I do kind of want to be challenged with my platform. And they're like, people are like, oh, the challenge is like getting all the coins. And I'm like, well, like, that's kind of a shitty challenge. Like, the challenge should be getting to the end of the level. Like, That's what bothered me about it.
Yeah, and that is.
I want to like that game because I think that everything you said is right.
Yeah, no, and I do recognize that, but because of everything else, it's something that I can forgive. I know it's something you can't look past.
That's a baby game,
and that's totally fine. But like everything else, I'm so down for, and like yeah, it's not going to be hard at all. But yeah, I don't know. It's I recognize that, but it's like that. I don't give a fuck.
Bums me out, man.
Yeah,
I was like
I respect
so hyped because like people think I hate Nintendo or I hate Mario. Like, I love Mario games. I've beaten Super Mario 3 so many times I've lost count. Super Mario 3 is the first game I ever remember playing. That holds a very special place in my heart, and I love Mario. But like for me, that just drives me nuts. Right, we have to wrap this up. We're running the show.
So
I'm also hungry.
Your game of the show, Spider-Man. My game of the show, Mario Odyssey. Do you want to rank the conferences? Not talk about it at all, but just give a quick...
but I think we should do number one.
Number one?
Each of us.
All right. Well, EA, Microsoft, I think Sony and Ubi are tied. Sony a little bit above because I think they presented a little better. Bethesda at number 2, Nintendo at number 1.
I definitely understand what you're saying with Nintendo at number 1. The reason that Ubisoft is I think the best conference. All of those games I'll probably end up playing.
Yeah, and that's so like I think content-wise, I think Ubisoft did have it for the most part. There were some like dips and stuff, and I think because they didn't have Aisha Tyler, they fell back into the weird like EA thing of like they got very basic, and it was very awkward for a lot of it. And I think it was a very interesting choice that they didn't have Aisha, but I think it was. We said this in the predictions episode. It's not that I don't like Aisha; it's that whoever's writing for her obviously doesn't know how to write for her. Yeah. So it's like, so they just took her out completely, which I think
not the answer.
Also, not the answer. So.
But yeah, for me, I will definitely play Far Cry 5. I will definitely play South Park. South Park most likely will be my game of the year. I will definitely play Skull and Bones. I will definitely play. What else did they have?
AC Origins.
I'll definitely play AC Origins.
Yep.
And like
interesting coming from you.
And because I think it looks legitimately cool.
Yeah.
And all of those games are like games I know when they're coming out.
Yeah. That's true.
I know when all of those games are coming out.
That's true.
Like as much as I think Nintendo had the biggest wow moments.
Yeah.
Announcing two Metroid games and like
all this. They did big wow moments, and their presentation I think was really solid, and that's why like Nintendo and Bethesda are at the top for me because I think the way they presented it was very tight. It was short and sweet, and like their whole sort of themes going on, like Bethesda's theme, I thought was really cool and all that stuff, and like
yeah, I definitely agree. But like I said, I look at like the biggest things that Nintendo had besides Odyssey was Pokemon and Metroid, when those games are going to come out when I'm 30.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, I can't give points for old. That. And I can't give Sony points at all, even though Sony PlayStation's my favorite.
That was so like
nothing was dated.
That's the fucking thing. It was literally like that was such a solid fucking conference. They showed all these cool things, and literally the one critique, but it was such a big important critique, is that no dates. Yeah. And that was literally the one critique we had of Sony last year, and it was the only
same games this year with still no dates.
Yeah, and it was like the only expectation we had for them this year was like, just do what you did last year, but then give us dates. Yeah. And they literally
gave us the exact same conference we got last year.
They didn't show us the one thing we had asked for, and that was dates, and it sucks.
Yeah, so that's why I give props to Ubisoft. Oh, and Burnout or Hot Pursuit or Need for Speed is basically a Burnout game.
Oh yeah,
and I'll play the fuck out of that.
Quick note: Devolver, watch that conference. It's a 15-minute long pre-recorded video. Those are fucking insane people. They are insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it.
It's so weird. It's so weird, and it's this whole like, we're making fun of all the other companies at this thing.
But we're one of those companies.
It's just, we'll talk about it off screen. It's so fucking weird.
But until next time, this has been our Super Mega E3 show. We'll only do an episode this long once a year, probably, unless we have, like, I don't know,
Greg a better way to fucking record it next time. We should probably think ahead of time.
I also probably shouldn't be doing it at 1 o'clock with your girlfriend drunk.
Yeah, maybe.
What's up, Alyssa? How you feeling?
She's feeling great.
Thank you guys for the support. I've had a lot of people tell me that they watch our show. Really weird.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys. Yeah. Follow me on Twitter at Sean Twisters. I'm almost at 4,000 followers. Follow Barrett on Twitter at Pirate Skull and Bones B-Dog.
I'm at Benandler Chong, and I'm sort of close to 500 followers. So
At B Swords Mick Treasure Chest. At Cannon Me Down. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your friends. Share the links. Like, subscribe, share. You all right?
Yeah. Just going to put this hat on Dishonored Boy over here.
Go on iTunes and review us, Cameron. And until next time, this is the end of the show.
Bye.
Bye.